Meeting. I guess our first thing on the agenda is go ahead and call to order. That's me at 7. And then let's go do roll call, please.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Mrs. Heidinger?
Yes.
Okay, and next we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. Flag is over here to your right. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item 3, approval and correction of the minutes for the regular meeting of March 14th, 2022. Could I have a motion?
Heidinger.
Thank you.
Hensel.
Motion is second. Thank you very much. Any discussion? Any corrections? We're all good? Okay, I think we're good. Let's go ahead and have a vote.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Mrs. Heidinger?
Yes.
Okay, item 4, principal, supervisor, faculty reports and showcase. I think we have some in our presence here tonight with Mr. Sneary. The floor is yours, sir. Yeah, you can speak to it.
All right, so I brought the 5th and 6th graders here, and the 5th and 6th grade gets kind of a bad rap sometimes, but we do have some pretty good kids in 5th and 6th grade, so maybe these guys can tell you about their friends that are the good ones, but no. We have some good leaders in the school, and I brought them to talk about Leader in Me. And, I'm myself being new to the district, I didn't know a lot about Leader in Me, but I sure learned a lot this year, a lot from the kids and then the other staff members at the school. But these guys are true leaders. I gave them kind of the reins on this. I said, what do you want us to speak about for Leader in Me? And they each came up with their own topic. I mean, a couple of them I might have persuaded one way or the other, but they came up with their own topics. So some of you might have already seen the video that's out, but we're going to go ahead and play it anyhow. And then I'm going to call these guys up to give their spiel.
The speaker bar shuts off after something used.
Leaders at KBS embrace the belief that the most important way to be a leader is to inspire greatness in others. We are all leaders at KBS. As you walk the halls, you will see scoreboards for school-wide goals, bulletin boards for classrooms and class goals, and individual leadership notebooks for every student to report and track leadership and academic goals. All staff are on action teams that meet once a month and take responsibility for engaging in highly effective practices at our school. We have student lighthouse teams for every grade level, preschool through 6th grade. Every student is in a leadership club that meets monthly. Students are able to lead in their classroom through leadership roles. Students and staff are empowered to alleviate habits and become more self-confident and equipped with skills to increase their personal effectiveness. Each person has genius and takes responsibility to share their gifts and talents. Inspiring all to inquire, improve, and excel is our KCS mission statement. At KBS, we are deeply rooted in the belief that every single student and staff member has the potential to make a contribution to the culture, leadership, and academic success in our school family. Every contribution has significance. Students are encouraged to use their voice to make positive impacts in our school. Leadership is everywhere at KBS.
So I know most of you were part of that day, of the leadership day, and it was a big day for us. And then the next day we had the crew come in to actually see if we were going to be a lighthouse school, and we did make our lighthouse status. And that didn't mean anything to me before until I figured out how much it meant to everybody else there, and it's a big deal. I'm going to call you guys up one at a time, and then when you're done, you can just stand back here. But the first person here is Brennan Heberling. He's a sixth grader, and he is going to be sharing his leadership notebook with you. Now, most of the other kids did, or most of the other grades did their notebooks like regular traditional paper pencil kind of thing, and the sixth graders got to do theirs electronically. And just to put a little spiel in here about sixth grade, I'm kind of partial toward Brennan and a lot of the other sixth graders because I have a son there, but Brennan is a leader, and that's kind of why I picked him for this. In sports also, this is a group that's going to be something, I think, as they move along here in the sports. So if you want to watch a good baseball team this year, I think these guys are going to be pretty good.
These are our leadership points. Like, we put points in every week, and you can get up to 40 points some weeks, but most weeks it's 25. And if you get a certain amount of points a month, you get your total, and you get to do something fun at the end of the second quarter. These are IXL Language Arts WIGs. By the way, WIGs are wildly important goals. So we get on IXL and we do diagnostics. And diagnostics are how you did last year. Gradually each month. We put points in each month for certain levels. Like vocabulary, from an 840 at the beginning of the year to a 1120 standard. And there's an overall reading level and there's an overall language level. I went from a 940 to a 110 and a overall reading score from a 1030 to a 1040. And that's basically it.
What else do you need to say?
Oh, any questions?
I do have one question for you, Ryan. The first screen, the first one that you went to with
Yeah.
your, how do you get your points? How are different things, activities to build those points up, or how do you get those?
You get 5 points a week, and if you're bad, you lose points, but if you're good, you keep your points.
So it's behavior?
Yeah. It's
Okay. All right.
Did you build that spreadsheet yourself? No, it's a template. Yeah.
Thank you.
I had a sixth grade girl, Hadley Wilson, on here, but I saw on the attendance today she has the stomach bug going around, so she didn't make it in tonight. Next for the sixth grade is Taryn Miller, and she's going to talk to you about what synergizing means, and she came up with her own, I guess, thoughts of what she wanted to talk about, and I kind of let her run with it. So here she is.
Synergizing is teamwork skills, and one of the ways we help each other is schoolwork and helping our friends study for upcoming tests, and also helping us study for state tests, since they're very important to our school. And another way of our synergizing is are many sports for our school, including basketball and football. Both of these sports require teamwork, which we have done for them. Our leadership day was also a big part of it due to the fact that some of the students in the gym presented their club posters to our visitors and students in high grades. Also, a few of our students showed visitors around the school. We can also show synergize because of our clubs we do and using teamwork while doing a service project, like collecting hats and gloves for homeless shelters in Kenton. Another club in our school that does something good for not only our school but our community is the recycle fans. So each classroom and pod has a bin that they recycle paper and just about anything you can recycle. That's it. Any questions? No? Okay.
Thanks, Tara. Next, we have Luke Dunges, and he's going to be telling you about Find Your Voice.
So, when finding your voice, you want to try new things, and you want to try to find out where you fit in. Say you really like football, so you want to try to play football. Say I wanted to try soccer, I'd try soccer, and if I didn't like it, I'd try to move on to a different thing and try to find where I fit in. But it's really all about finding out where you fit in and trying new things. And that's about it. Any questions?
Do you help encourage others to do new things?
I try to at least a couple times.
I have a quick question. Find Your Voice, isn't that a new one that maybe
Yes,
hasn't
this
been
is
around?
the
Was it
eighth
just this
habit.
year? Or?
Yep. They
Okay.
just created that. So we used to have 7, and now it's 8.
You did a great job of explaining it. Thank you.
So the original was the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and this is the 8th one that was just recently added here. Next, we have David Maude. He's a 5th grader also. He's going to be just giving you an overview of the clubs and the different things that were with the clubs this year.
So clubs are something we do once a month. Every class from 5th and 6th grade will meet for different things, for different clubs, such as the Bay, Disney, World, sports, and clubs such as that. So in clubs such as mine, debate, we will debate stuff such as which one's the bear donut, chocolate or glazed, do video games cause violence, and stuff such as that. Each club was required to do a service learning project or something to help the community, such as the debate club, which did a hat and scarf drive for the community. Any questions?
Do you have a favorite donut?
I got one. Do you enjoy doing these Leader and Me classes, and
Yes.
what do you think you get out of it mostly?
The most of it is because I personally like to debate. So from that, I don't get to debate that often since it's not a class. So I enjoy doing it once a month as an opportunity to do something I don't normally get to do.
Great.
That's awesome.
Good deal. Thanks.
Yeah, boy.
Next, we have a 5th grader, Chloe Ropp. She's going to talk to you about putting first things first.
The way I use this habit is by organizing my time. I get to do a program called Share Fair where we redo a project that we did towards the beginning of the year and make it better with the knowledge we have gained since then. Well, instead of watching movies or doing the fun things we do in class, I go out to the ELA and work on my project. Another way I use this put first things first habit is with our state test. The night of the state test, I study and practiced instead of going outside or watching TV. Thank you for your time this evening. Are there any questions?
Good job.
What happened to your foot? You broke it? Yeah.
And we do have,
I was sitting on those swings on a wheel thing at the park, and Annette walked over and
and we do have state testing tomorrow, so don't forget. Next, we have Meredith Cameron. She's also a fifth grader, and she's going to talk about sharpen the saw.
Hi, my name is Meredith Cameron, and I'm in fifth grade. And I'm going to talk to you about one of the 7 habits. I'm talking about sharpening a saw. Sharpening a saw means preserving and enchanting the greatest asset you have, which is yourself. For example, get the right amount of sleep, practice healthy eating, and stay active, like running or playing outside. Also, make sure you treat yourself. Every now and then, a trip to Dairy Queen is a great choice. Any questions?
Last but not least, we have Avery Blue, who's also a fifth grader. She's going to talk about the Lighthouse team and the Humane Society.
Hi, my name is Avery Blue, and today I'll be talking about the Lighthouse Club. The Lighthouse Club is one of the many clubs that we have at KES. In the Lighthouse, we get to do a ton of fun and helpful things. One of the things that we did was went out and cleaned up the Humane Society for free. Another thing that we did was planned a dance, and we earned $975, which we donated to Not By Choice, which is an organization that helps people with cancer pay for everyday things like gas. I have really enjoyed being a part of the Lighthouse. Thank you. Do you have any questions? $975.
How much was it?
$975.
Wow. That's awesome.
And so these are part of our leaders at Kenton, and our sixth graders will be moving on to the junior high next year, and Mr. Cameron will be patiently awaiting, but he's got some good ones coming. Like I said, they don't always get the best rap, but these guys right here are true leaders, and we have a lot of them in the 5th and 6th grade. So, do you have any questions for me? Thanks.
Very nice.
Okay, nicely done. Thank you for kids for coming and presenting to us. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I tell you what, if we can, I'd like to get a picture with everybody that stood up and talked for us tonight, and appreciate that. If you would, just step over where the screen is, and our board members are going to come over and get their picture taken with you.
You guys will come over here.
Yeah, those were bad instructions, sorry.
It was close.
Yeah, you want your camera stand right here. Well, Brennan is too.
Okay, look at me. Nope. 3, 2, 1. I'll take a couple.
Thank you, guys. Parents, at this time, you are welcome to leave if you'd like. You can stay as long as you'd like, but if you want, now's a great time. If you want to slip out, you can. So,
We'll give you a few minutes to do that. Absolutely.
You know you're short when 5th graders are shorter than you are. Jeez. I got, yeah.
Brennan's
It
a
was
big
rainy
kid.
today.
He's my
so
nephew.
it's
Brennan
like-
is. Yeah, he's my nephew. He's a good kid. Yeah,
Yeah.
good kid.
I'll wear heels next time for sure.
I think everybody's cleared out. We'll continue on here. So, item 6, reports of the treasurer. Oh, there was no public participation. Sorry, I didn't want to skip that over. There's no one signed up, so we'll go right on to number 6 there. Let's see, I guess we need to probably make a motion for that. Could we have a motion for that, please?
Yeah, let me just
You-
say
you
a
wanna
couple
clarify some
things,
things?
just a couple things. We will have our 5-year forecast at the next board meeting in May. We will be getting our income tax at the end of this month, so that'll be the final payment for this fiscal year. Hoping that we're going to stay on trend to what we predicted for the total to be by the year's end here. And also, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with the 5-year. We are holding very strong, and that is because of a lot of these grants, especially the new ones, that have taken the pressure off of our general fund. Even our food service fund is doing quite well because we got to defer a lot of their salaries into that grant as well. So I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at that.
Awesome. Okay, I guess we can entertain a motion now.
I move, so move.
Thanks, Rodney. Could I have a second?
Heidinger.
Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and have a vote.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Mrs. Heidinger?
Yes.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes. Okay, item 7, Superintendent Report Communication.
Yeah, just real quick, wanted to recognize these folks during this board meeting, but the good news is we're going to take more time and actually recognize them at graduation, talking a little bit more about accomplishments and things. So I'll give you just a little bit about these people, but this is a Reader's Digest version because everything will be much better explained during graduation. But anyway, Colonel Robert James, 1964 is when he graduated, taught history and government at Kenton High School from 68 to 72. He went on to become a principal in Marion, but then he joined the active and reserve for National Guard, was a professor, I think just retired as in a couple of months ago, at Virginia Military Institute, worked at the Pentagon for quite a while. And he had a lot of titles. The one that I chose to write down was the Director of International Affairs, and this is for the United States of America, and Chief of Foreign Liaison for the National Guard. So very high-ranking official within there. But what I found interesting was when I called him extremely humble guy. He actually just got back, I think, from Italy and helping to judge some international wars competition thing. But he's really excited about coming and accepting the award at graduation, and just a very neat guy. So that's one recipient. The other one is Carl Russell. That name should sound somewhat familiar because he's a longtime Kenton educator, principal. In 1917, though, is when he graduated, so that's been a little while ago. So he obviously is not with us, but he was the first Kenton High School alumni to become a principal of Kenton High School, so I thought that was kind of a neat fact. But he actually started in 1921 teaching at the grammar school, which actually was right here, where this building now sits, and then eventually taught at the high school and what is now our middle school, and finished out his career there because he retired from principalship in 1959, but then went on 5 more years to be a counselor. So he probably left right about the time that the new high school was built. But he was also in the military, was a Air Force Reserve, and he did some book sales. A really interesting guy. But and again, we'll get a lot more information about these people later at graduation, but I just want to give you just a snapshot of each one. And then Helen Nash Salisbury graduated in 1914, taught 6 years in Hardin County, ended up managing a Sears mail order, because of course back at that time that was very popular, and ended up getting promoted up through the Sears organization. Retired in 1961, came back here and became mayor of Kenton for 2 terms, and a lot happened during that time. In the 60s there, a new master plan was created, zoning was put into effect, city income tax, new water tower and treatment plant. There was just a lot going on at that time, and so and from everything I've read and whatever, she was a very hard worker. Wouldn't be surprising to see the light on 10 hours a day, that kind of thing. Just a strong force for Kenton. And then of course she gained what was Francis Stone Quarry. That became available, and from my understanding, it was pretty run down and kind of overgrown and all that, but the city bought it and obviously has kept it up from there. So, and again, there's a lot more. That's just a little bit from each one, but we're excited to bring those people into our Alumni Hall of Fame.
Great. Awesome. Looking forward to that at graduation. Item 8, board committee reports. The first is Career Center. I did not receive any communications from the Career Center for the,
Once or just what trickle in over
just-
the
just
year?
almost all at once, just about like this.
Usually, I
'cause-
think twice a year.
Yeah, we non-renew them
Okay.
and then we'll renew them.
Okay.
Sometimes the names change,
Yeah,
obviously.
'cause
Sometimes they
positions
remain the
change.
same.
Yeah, all right.
So, yes. Looks like we are approving a new Spanish teacher. Mrs. Martin's been here forever, so even when I was in school, so that's a long time ago, so.
We're going to miss her, but
We'll miss her.
Caitlin Johnson Ramirez
Yep.
is going to be joining us, and she was a Kitten alumni, and she's got some years of experience now teaching, and we're excited to have her. But we're definitely going to be missing Mrs. Martin, along with some others that are retiring, and we'll recognize them at our next board meeting.
Okay, good, good. Yeah, actually, most of them are just something that's worth noting, obviously, is 10N. Betty Reed is going to retire. She spent 30 years with us. Wow. Thank you for that, Betty, and I think we'll probably recognize her at another meeting. Okay, let's go ahead and move with a motion, if we could, please.
Heidinger.
Thanks, Tasha. And a second?
Hensel.
Thanks, Rodney. And any other discussion? Anything else you wanted to highlight on that, guys?
One nice thing to bring to the board's attention is our JROTC salaries are actually split with the military. So we, as a board, only pay half of their salaries, and the military picks up the other half.
Great. Okay, then we'll go ahead and move forward with a vote, please.
Mrs. Heidinger?
Yes.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
All right. And then we are going to go down to 11, authorizations and resolutions. A 3-year contract for frontline education. Looks like we're approving some donations from Precision Strip, Honda, Colleen O'Connell, and the class of 2011. Approve a contract between us and the Ohio ESC again. I'm assuming that's just kind of a renewal of that one?
That one's actually new due to a new student moving in that is
Okay.
visually impaired and needs some services.
Okay. All right. Man, I needed to be part of the Business Professionals of America since they're going to go to Dallas, Texas. That'd be nice. That'd be awesome. It looks like we're moving some appropriations. Let's see. Okay, and then obviously a lot of the policies, we're getting updated with the Neola changes for the state requiring us to do so. Couple 7-on-7, and then looks like insurance, accident life insurance for the, is that for the, for the students?
Students,
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha, okay.
They want it.
All right, let's go ahead.
I got a question
Yeah, go
about
ahead.
the North Central ESC. I assume we have to bus that student wherever they're going?
I believe those are services that are provided to us here.
They
So
come to the school?
I believe so. I'm not 100% on that. That's what most of our services are
Yeah.
done that way. but-
Yeah, usually that's what happens, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
They here the whole day then, or how's that work?
don't
They
think so. I think
they
it's-
may be on a partial, like a couple hours or so. It depends on what the student's IEP is that they're needed for. So it could be a couple days a week, parts of a day. It just depends on the IEP.
But if they can't see, I mean.
And we have some students, for example, for the School for the Deaf, they get transported every day
Right.
down to
Right.
Columbus
Right.
and back.
Right.
But in this situation, they must be able to be served, by folks here in Kent.
It's not like after 3 periods you all of a sudden see, that's why I was.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Okay. Let's go ahead and have a motion, please.
Hensel.
Thanks.
Heidinger.
Thank you. We're hearing those two names a lot tonight. Any other discussion, guys? Okay, then we'll go ahead and move forward with a vote.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Mrs. Heidinger?
Yes.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes. Okay, item 12, we're going to approve a motion to go into executive session for employment, discipline, promotion, and compensation of employees. I don't believe there'll be any further action taken tonight with that. I think the time in for that, we're going to do that right now, right?
Yep.
So 7:34. Do we need a motion for that
Yes.
now? Okay. We do need a motion to proceed with that, so could I have a motion?
Heidinger.
Thanks, Tasha. And a second?
Hensel.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and have a vote.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Mrs. Heidinger?
Yes.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Adjournment. Thanks. Next regular board meeting will be May 16th.